Hey y'all, it's your girl Missniecytv, and I'm here to do a review for Sistas Season 7, Episode 2. The episode starts off with Penelope walking in on Gary pleasuring himself to Andy's panties. She's like, "What are you doing? You're sick." Gary's like, "It's not what it looks like." Penelope's like, "Oh really? It looks like you're pleasuring yourself to your ex's dirty panties." And Gary's like, "Keep your voice down and they're clean." Penelope's like, "Don't tell me what to do." Penelope says, "Nothing has changed. You're still obsessed with her." Gary's like, "Look, I was just horny and I was looking at you during dinner." And Penelope says, "You think I'm a fool?" Gary says, "I think you're overreacting." That's when Andy yells, "Is everything okay?" And Gary's like, "Yeah, P was just helping me get something out of my eye." Penelope walks out the bathroom and she lets Andy know that they're leaving because she's not feeling so well. And Andy's like, "Is there anything I can get for you?" Penelope's like, "No." Jordan lets Gary know that they're glad that they did this dinner date, and Gary's like, "Me too. And I know it's gonna take a while, but you have my undivided support." Gary decides to take it upon himself and touch Jordan, and I don't even think he washed his hands. Penelope's like, "Are you ready to go?" Gary's like, "Yeah, I guess we gotta get out of here. The queen's not feeling so well. It must have been Andy's cooking." But by then they're on the elevator. Andy's like, "No, it's not my cooking. She's tired of your mess and she's pregnant." Jordan's like, "Well, that was interesting." Andy's like, "Yeah, I know. I have a lot of thoughts about tonight." Jordan's like, $100,000? How much is he worth? Andy's like, "A lot," and I'm sure that meant nothing to him. Jordan's done talking about Gary and he's trying to make love to Andy, but Andy doesn't want to. She's trying to use the excuse that she has to clean the kitchen, but what it is she's thinking about Gary. Then we see Gary and Penelope on the elevator. And Gary's like, "I don't know about you trying to rush out of there. I got the keys." Penelope's like, "Shut up." And Gary's like, "Who you talking to?" Penelope's like, "I'm talking to you." That's when Gary grabs her up, right? And he's like, "If you want to be technical, this is your fault." Penelope's like, "I can't believe I gave you a second chance, and I can't believe you would be in the bathroom pleasuring yourself to your ex's panties." Gary's like, "I've been trying to have sex with you for the past week, but you kept telling me no because you had a headache and you're not feeling well, so this is on you." Penelope's like, "You're really crazy for doing that, and your fiance is in the next room." Gary's like, "Well, men do some strange stuff to get off." Over at Danny's, Sabrina's over there to talk to her about going to therapy, right? And Sabrina's like, "Do you think you're having these nightmares because of Preston?" Danny's like, "No, of course not. Since he left, I've been happy." Sabrina's like, "Oh, okay, well, it might be your subconscious because you still have pain from the situation, or it might be childhood trauma." That's when Danny gets defensive and she tells her that you need to leave because you've been here for an hour and you drank all my wine. Then we see Gary going over to Hayden's house, and Hayden's like, "What you doing here?" Gary's like, "I need a place to stay for the night." Hayden's like, "Why?" Gary's like, "Me and Penelope got into it and she's at my house now." Gary's like, "Look, I just need a place to stay for the night, and this can be your way of paying me back for the Tamara situation." And Hayden's like, "Aren't you and Penelope getting married?" And Gary's like, "Getting married? You know I just bought her that ring to buy some time, right?" "Gary, can you please inform me on the time that you're trying to buy it? Because I'm lost." Gary's trying to get drunk, and Hayden's like, "I can't do that because I got a meeting in the morning." Gary's like, "Look, just have one drink with your boy," and Hayden agrees to it. Gary did ask Hayden if he knew who Jordan Williams was, and he's like, "Yeah, he runs for city council." He's like, "We gonna take him down," and Hayden's like, "No, we not." But I'm like, what would happen if Hayden decided not to be Gary's saving grace anywhere? Because Gary always seems to turn to Hayden when things go wrong. Over at Zach and Fatima's, we see Zach cooking Fatima's favorites for breakfast, and Zach only does this when he's about to say something that Fatima doesn't like, so they sit down for breakfast, and Zach's like, "I've been thinking about opening a trust fund for little Michael," and Fatima's okay with that. And then he's like, "I've been thinking about opening one for Zach Jr. And Fatima's like, "Zach Jr.?" You can see Fatima's whole face change, but Zach is like, "Yeah, I've been thinking about asking Karen to name the baby Zach Jr." Fatima's over the conversation, and she's like, "Just remember, we have a meeting with Andy today." And the look on Zach's face, he looks like he forgot, which he did. Fatima's like, "You forgot, didn't you?" And Zach is like, "Yeah." Over at the law firm in the break room, Hayden speaks to Andy, and he says good morning to you too, and Andy's like, "I only say good morning to people that I like." Hayden's like, "Well, I see you having a new man and you change your attitude." And Andy's like, "How you know I got a new man?" She's like, "Gary must have told you, didn't he? I know I live rent free in y'all head." Hayden's like, "Don't flatter yourself like that." But speaking of Gary, what's up with him? And Andy's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, he must have had some problems with Penelope because he stayed the night at my house last night." And Andy's like, "Well, I don't know about that because I had dinner with them and they seemed fine." Hayden's like, "He kept me up all night calling her all insecure bees and all this stuff." And Andy's like, "Well, I know he was faking it. Gary's the king of code switching." Hayden's like, "I don't know why he acting like we best friends." Andy's like, "So you're not best friends?" Hayden's like, "Nah, I don't even know what he does for a living." And this is when Fatima walks in the room and she's like, "Is he bothering you?" Andy's like, "We were just talking." And Hayden's like, "What does this have to do with you?" They start bickering and Andy's like, "It's time for y'all to squash the beef," and they both say no. Over at Karen's salon, Karen's on the ladder trying to fix some stuff, and Pam tells her to get down because she could hurt herself. As Karen is getting down off the ladder, a delivery guy comes in and Karen asks Pam what does she order because Pam has been ordering stuff on the company card as write-offs. Pam is like, I've just been ordering supplies and decor for the salon. Pam flirts with the delivery guy, and the delivery guy gives Karen his business card just in case she needs to return anything. It turns out that Pam ordered bull semen for the hair product that she's trying to make. Karen decides to call Sabrina to inquire about getting a loan, and Sabrina's like, I thought you already got a loan for this salon. Karen's like, I did, and that's almost gone because Pam keeps ordering stuff not knowing that I'm in debt. Karen says, I'm barely able to keep up with my own bills, let alone the salon's bills, and Sabrina's like, well, single family just came in inquiring about a personal loan. Karen's like, that's good for them, but I ain't got the money to put on a loan. And Sabrina's like, speaking of single families, how do you feel about marriage and kids? And Karen's like, if that happens later on in life, that's good, but I'm just focusing on my baby. Karen's like, why do you ask me that anyway? And Sabrina's like, oh, no reason. Over at the law firm, we see Fatima and Andy gossiping in our office about the dinner with Gary last night. And Fatima's like, that shouldn't be your focus. Let's focus on this meeting. And that's when Zach walks in. And they're like, Zach, you look nice. Zach was like, thank you. So Andy was making sure that they have everything they needed for the case. And Zach was like, yeah, I got witness statements, I got pictures and hospital bills. And Andy's like, okay, cool, when's the date? Zach and Fatima are like, the date for what? Andy's like, your wedding. The case will more likely work in your favor if you two are married and the child is in a two-parent home. Fatima tells Zach that they'll talk about it later. And Fatima doesn't want to do it right now because she's like, we got too much dip on our chip. Over at the airport, we see Tony talking to Danny while Danny is helping the client. He asked her for some printer paper, but it turns out he just did that so he could go down on her behind the desk. Danny gets all flustered while helping the client, and the client leaves after Danny is done helping her. And by then, Tony's back up on his feet, and Danny's like, what'd you do that for? You know there's cameras around here. And Tony's like, cameras don't reach down. Tony's like, so how did everything go with Sabrina? Danny's like, it didn't go well. And you have the nerve to be asking me that after what you just did. Be for real. Tony was like, well, be in my office in 15 minutes so we can finish what we started. After Tony leaves, Danny calls Karen to see if she wants to go to brunch with them. And Karen's like, no, I don't want to sit around and watch y'all get drunk while I just drink my water. Over at Maurice's, Sabrina goes over there to get a dress that she left there before Calvin moved. She wants to wear the dress to brunch with the girls, but Maurice doesn't have any more because he used it as a prop in one of his camera shows for one of his rich white men. And he tells Sabrina that he's making quite a bit of money from doing it too. Now it's time for the brunch, and the ladies are sitting there talking, and Andy's like, I got a confession to make. I think Jordan's making me a sex addict. The ladies are like, newsflash, you've already been one. And Danny's like, is he bigger than Gary? Fatima's like, wait, you've seen Gary before? And Danny's like, yeah, I've actually walked in on them twice. Andy says that Gary is no match for Jordan. This is when Andy asked Danny how her and Tony was doing, and she's like, we're doing really good, but he keeps pressuring me about therapy. The ladies are like, how you feel about that? And Danny's like, I don't want to sit on no white man's couch and tell him how I feel. That's when Fatima chimes in and she lets Danny know that she has a therapist and she's really cool, and she'll let you talk without judgment, and she'll allow you to smoke too. Danny was convinced right then and there. That's when Sabrina switches the subject again, and she's like, how y'all feel about marriage and kids? Danny was like, what a way to ruin a moment. Fatima's like, I actually want two of my own, but I can't do that right now because we got two other babies to deal with, little Michael and Zach Jr. They're like, Zach Jr. Fatima's like, I wanted to be the one to give him his junior. Fatima's like, yeah, Zach was going to ask Karen about it today, and the girls all start laughing. Fatima's like, what? You don't believe the baby's his either? The lady's like, I think it's just best for him to get a DNA test. And Fatima's like, if y'all think that's something, he wants to open up a trust fund for the baby too. Karen does show up to the brunch, but she leaves when she sees Fatima sitting there, having fun with the girls. Everybody came home ready to get that after brunch special from their man. Danny tells Tony that she's ready to go to therapy after talking to the girls. Sabrina finds out that Rich doesn't want to be married or have kids. She tells Rich, let's go practice so I could use your sperm, and then Rich walks out the door. But I'm like, Sabrina, how did you not have this important conversation if y'all been dating for 3 months? Andy makes it home and Jordan's trying to cook for her. Andy's like, I already ate, I just need dessert. That's when Jordan tells her, I have great news. I've been endorsed by the mayor and I have a great PR team, and I want you to start coming to meetings with me. Over at Zach and Fatima makes it home from brunch, and Zach is like, how did the brunch go? Fatima's like, it was really nice and I had fun. But Karen wasn't there though. Zach is like, do you think that's why they invited you? And Fatima's like, it must have been. Zach tries to give Fatima a kiss, but she gives him her cheek, right? He's like, what's that about? Fatima's like, nothing's wrong. Zach is like, something's wrong. Fatima's like, don't you think you're doing too much for a baby that you don't even know is yours? I think you should get a DNA test. Zach is like, I know this is hard for you, but I'm having a baby. Fatima's like, what's hard for me is watching you do all this stuff for a baby that you don't even know is yours. Zach is like, them girls got in your head. You can't go to those brunches anymore. Fatima's like, I don't take too kindly to that. You should ask the last nigga that tried to control me. Zach is like, yeah, right. Fatima's like, you know what? You're stupid if you believe that baby is yours. Zach is like, I guess I'm just stupid then. Zach, weren't you just saying that you don't even know if the baby's yours? Now you claiming it as yours. Make that make sense for me, please? Over in Gary's office, Gary's on the phone talking to another woman about flying her out, flying her first class, and all this other stuff, right? Until this guy Hudson comes in and he's like, we have a problem. The FBI is investigating us. They think we're running Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes and stuff like that. Somebody ain't got their money. It's worth $50 million. Gary's like, we can't get caught. Start shredding stuff. Hudson's like, I already started. That's when Hayden calls and he's like, why is the FBI at my house? Houston, we have a problem? And Gary doesn't know how to find his way out of it. Hayden's gonna find out the deep stuff that Gary's actually into, and it's not gonna be good. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your bell notifications. Bye!